please stand to salute the flag? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Burhoff, please do the roll call.
Mr. Baclo.
Here.
Mrs. Bowler. Here. Dr. Loughlin. Here. Mr. Morales.
Here.
Mr. Tracca.
Here.
Mr. Repko.
Here.
Mr. Thomas Jackson. Mr. Urban.
Here.
Mr. Merle D. Music.
Here. At this time, Mr. Nichols will discuss the executive session that was held prior to this meeting.
As the Board of School Directors held an executive session beginning at 6 o'clock to about quarter till 7. Among the matters discussed under personnel was an employee discipline matter for a teacher and an employee discipline matter for an aide. Other personnel items to be voted on at tonight's meeting were discussed, including items 67, 70, and 71. There was discussion of bus drivers to be voted on tonight's meeting. Under legal, there was a discussion of certain board policy issues. There was also a very brief discussion of the SRO with the city of Latrobe. And under labor negotiations, there was a discussion of the negotiations for the ESEA teacher's contract.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. I will now open the floor up to hearing of visitors part 1. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to speak about any item that is on our agenda tonight. There will be time at the end of the meeting to discuss any other concerns. There is a 3-minute time limit. I see nobody. So I move for the adoption of Resolution 48, approval of the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The minutes are approved as recorded. Going into the solicitor's report, Mr. Nichols.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Education and planning, Mr. Repko.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have the Partners in Education and Grants campaign presentation. Who's going to take that?
Jessica?
Hello, everybody. I'm Kayla Sutton, President of the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation. We are very pleased to announce grants for the use in the 2024-2025 school year. This year, the Education Foundation will provide over $200,000 toward academic and teacher grants. The program grants will support the following initiatives: the Learning 2025 initiative, the Leader in Me curriculum. We provided funding for new equipment for the Physical Education Fitness Lab, new technology for the Junior High Digital Art Lab, new computers and equipment for the new eSports team. We invested in the new CATS Custom technology. We outfitted the Junior High Music Tech Lab, and we purchased Chromeboxes for LES, which I do believe now completes the addition of Chromeboxes on the active panels. Through the continued generosity of Bull Magazine and Second Half Coach Wealth Management, the Special Education Department received a grant of over $22,000. And once again, we were able to fully fund all teacher grants, and these are made possible by support of the annual fund and the Dr. and Mrs. Stavitsky Fund, as well as the Karen and Ron Lopresti funds. The foundation continues to fund the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. We would love your help in spreading the word about the program to families with children under the age of 5. It is free for them to enroll, and their children will receive 1 book per month until they turn 5 years old. Additional programs the foundation will fund this year include dual enrollment scholarships, Greater Latrobe Chamber educational activities that align with career pathways, and the very important Wildcats Emergency Fund, where we help students and families in need. We also had some unexpected donations come through this year that were earmarked for the boys and girls basketball programs and the donation of a new gator to support the district's athletic program. And lastly, the $200,000 that I mentioned do not include $57,400 in scholarships that were awarded to deserving graduating seniors in May. We are excited to share we held the inaugural Heart to Heart 5K run and walk in Latrobe last weekend to support the Stephen LoCascio Memorial Fund. This fund was created to carry on Stephen LoCascio's legacy in the district and continue his efforts to support and lift up students in financial need and provide a pathway for their success through continuing education. This spring, the LoCascio Fund provided 5 scholarships and a grant to the Wildcats Emergency Fund. Steve's wife Sherry and his family have been fundraising in Steve's memory, and they hope to make this race a new Wildcat tradition. We would like to thank Mike Kremka for being MC of the event, baseball coach Matt Bassiano, and members of the baseball team and staff of the Parks and Recreation Department for volunteering their time. This weekend, we are hosting the annual Coach Charles Finley Football Scholarship Dinner. This event will recognize seniors of the football team, and it is a great opportunity for alumni to come together and celebrate Wildcat football, and all the proceeds will benefit the scholarship fund. Everyone, if you would please mark your calendars for December 13th at 7 o'clock for the River City Brass Holiday Concert, featuring our very own choir and band students. It is a fun night for all ages, and it is sure to get you in the Christmas spirit. Please also mark your calendars for our annual Loyal and True Dinner, which will be held on Thursday, March 13th at the Fred Rogers Center. We would love to see you there for a wonderful night of Wildcat Fellowship. Also, if you know any outstanding alumni, please nominate them for our Alumni Distinction Award. We are pleased to be here and share that all of these grants are made possible by our wonderful donors, and many of you continue to support the annual fund. I hope you can see that your donations are making a difference in our schools. We thank you for your continued support and all that you do to support our students, teachers, and schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we could do a photo, if we could do a quick photo. Thank you so much.
Are you taking off or are you staying? I'm gonna stay.
All right, Mr. President, I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 49, approve 6th grade camp programs and dates as listed.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes as listed.
Mr. President, I'd ask the board to move on. I'm going to bundle numbers 50 through 53 for various service agreements that we approve yearly. Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? These resolutions pass.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 54, approve tuition students as listed. Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes as listed.
That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Repko. Going into finance, I move for the adoption of Resolution 55, approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes. I move for the adoption of Resolution 56, approve payment of bills.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes. I move for the adoption of Resolution 57, approve gifts, grants, and donations.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, I just would like to say, as a member of the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation group, that you can see in your agenda all of the things that this community is given, and this is coming from our staff, from our teachers, from everyone in the community gets to this, and it's really, other school districts don't all have this, and it's one of the things that makes us special. And also the McFeely Rogers grants that are given to us for the art series and the cultural enrichment at the elementary level. I mean, these are things that make us pretty great. So I just want to thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mrs. Goodrich, for these wonderful words. Are there any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes as listed. I move for the adoption of Resolution 58, approve award resolution between the Greater Latrobe School District and the Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes. The next Finance Committee meeting will be Tuesday, October 8th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in the Senior High School Library. Going into facilities, operations, and planning, Mr. Goffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ask the board to move on resolution 59, approve Westmoreland Intermediate Unit Early Intervention Lease Agreement.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution 60, approve the 2024-25 capital improvement project proposal for the synthetic turf replacement at the athletic complex, Rossi and Grand Kubota Field.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes.
Next facilities operations planning committee meeting will be Wednesday, October 2nd, at 4:30 p.m. at the administration. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Goppel. Going into student activities and recreation, Mr. Petrarca.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd ask the board to approve and move the resolution 61 to award winter sports equipment and supplies bids for 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes as listed.
That concludes my report. That concludes my report.
Mr. Petrarca. Going into community relations, Mr. Urban.
Yes, Mr. President. The next Greater Latrobe Parks and Recreation Commission meeting is Thursday, September 19th, 2024, 4:30 p.m. Community Township in the Still Building. And that is the extent of my report, Mr. President. Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Urban. Going into the Westmoreland Intermediate Union, I move for the adoption of Resolution 62, authorization of joint purchasing consortium representatives and permission to advertise for the 25-26 program. May I please have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Mrs. Brodowski, this is a roll call vote.
Dr. Laughlin?
Yes. Mr. Morel Musa?
Yes.
Mr. Petracca?
Yes.
Mr. Repko?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas is absent. Mr. Urban?
Yes.
Mr. Backo?
Yes.
Mrs. Cozer?
Yes.
And Mr. Morel Musa?
Yes. This resolution passes 8-0. The next WIU committee meeting will be Tuesday, September 24th, 2024, at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Fort Ligonier room and the Twin Lakes rooms. Going into the EWCTC Joint Operating Committee, Mrs. Cozart.
Yes, thank you. Our next joint operating committee meeting will be next Wednesday, the 25th at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Mrs. Cozart. Going into transportation, Mr. Merle Music.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of resolution number 64, which is to approve the People Transportation Services Award. And this is roll call vote.
Yeah, we're removing 63.
Okay. She wasn't here.
She was.
No, we told her. Sorry about that, Joe.
We still need a second on 64.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, Dan, thanks for your diligence on this, best pricing. However, I would ask the company to evaluate getting a check and balance to make sure the drivers are fit for duty day. Shouldn't cost anything, but if they're willing to do that, I think that'd be a nice thing for students.
Thank you, Mr. Rucco. Are there any other questions or comments? Mrs. Borowski, this is a roll call vote.
Mr. Morel Musa?
Yes.
Mr. Petracca?
Yes.
Mr. Repko?
Abstain?
Mr. Thomas is absent. Mr. Urban?
Yes.
Mr. Backo?
Abstain?
Mrs. Cozer?
Yes.
Dr. Laughlin? Yes. Mr. Morel Musa?
Yes.
The two gentlemen who abstained, if you very briefly just give you a reason for that, I think both of them are appropriate.
You know, I work for transportation for one of the companies put the RFP.
And I work for DNJ Transportation.
Thank you. Thank you. This resolution passes 6-0. Going into board policy / PSBA liaison, Mrs. Cozart.
Yes, thank you. I move for the adoption of resolution number 65, the election of PSBA officers. And you can see they're all listed here. There was literally one person for every office. So if you're okay with that, that's how we're going to vote, and Ms. Rossi will let PSBA know. So, thank you, Ms. give me a second.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? This resolution passes. Going in, or you're.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, got it a little bit ahead of myself. Going into technology, the next technology committee meeting will be Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in the CSC. Going into the superintendent's recommendations, Mr. Parenco.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask the board to move on resolution number 66 to approve resignations as listed.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I ask the board to move on resolution number 67 to approve professional personnel substitute teachers as listed. Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
Ask the board to move on resolution number 68 to approve professional personnel. That is Cheryl Plundo, junior high school science, master's step 9, at a salary of $54,657, and that's retroactive to August the 19th.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I ask the board to move on resolution number 69 to approve professional personnel, long-term substitute teacher, Scott West, senior high school physical education, bachelor step 1, 47507.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I ask the board to move on resolution number 70 to approve support personnel classified as listed.
So moved.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I ask the board to move on resolution number 71 to approve support personnel appointments with supplementals, additional supplementals for the 24-25 school year, as listed.
So moved.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. This resolution passes. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I would ask the board to move on resolution number 72 to reapprove Chad Krellick as our transportation liaison.
So moved.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
I ask the board to move on resolution number 73. This is ratification of agreement between the Greater Latrobe School District and the Service Employees International Unit. And I would just note that this is a roll call vote, please.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Mrs. Borzowski, will you please do a roll call?
Mr. Petracca.
Yes.
Mr. Repko.
Yes.
Mr. Tillman is absent. Mr. Urban.
Yes.
Mr. Gacko.
Yes.
Mrs. Kozer.
Yes.
Dr. Laughlin. Yes. Mr. Merle Dean Music.
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Merle L. Music.
Yes.
That's out of the bag. This resolution passes 8-0.
I ask the board to move on resolution number 74 to approve classified personnel hourly rate of pay effective September 1, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This resolution passes.
Just a few things of note. Football, junior high band night, youth football cheer night is Friday, September the 27th. That's at Memorial Stadium at 6:30. Our homecoming football game is Friday, October 4th, 2024, again at Memorial Stadium. That starts at 7 o'clock. Our next two meetings are on Tuesday, October the 8th. That's a committee meeting here at the CSC at 7, followed by our regular board meeting on the 15th of October, also at 7. If I could circle back very quickly, I want to go back to resolution number 57 in the presentation by the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation. That's $234,000 to the district this year. If you look at everything that's in item number 57, that's $252,844 to the district tonight. Those aren't for everyday things. Those are for things above and beyond what our budget allows for on a yearly basis. Since its inception in 2011, the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education has gifted $8 million, more than $8 million to the Greater Latrobe School District. Now, we talk about taxes in May, in June, and we talk about millage increases. $8 million is the equivalent of 23 mills. It's just under 23 mills. It's amazing the work that they do. And the things that are in resolution number 57 does not include $6,700 that's coming into the foundation just now, a gift from the Jamie Cordial Hall Foundation to help pay off some outstanding lunch balances. It does not include $12,000 that just came into the foundation to help support our school resource officer program here. It doesn't count a $200,000 scholarship that was done today over at the table on the other side of the CSC. That's $5,000 for 2 scholarships a year, right, Jessica? 2 of our students are going to get $5,000 scholarships, one for STEM-related activities and another for excellence at the CTC.
Mrs. Kozar said it, and I just want to reiterate it. It's not like that everywhere. It's not. We are very fortunate to have a Partners in Education Foundation that believes in what we do here at Greater Latrobe. And on top of that, people who believe in the Partners in Education Foundation and are willing to support what we do here at Greater Latrobe. I know we have a lot of students here tonight. Some of you may be seniors, some of you may be freshmen, sophomores, juniors, whatever. When you're a senior, you're going to have an opportunity to receive those scholarships that we talk about. 70 some scholarships last year, over $50,000 last year. It's amazing. And I'm just telling you, it's not like that everywhere, and I don't take it for granted. The last thing that I want to mention, on Friday night at our football game at Franklin Regional, we had a parent who suffered a medical emergency, a very severe medical emergency, in the stands right after the national anthem. The quick response by the staff at Franklin Regional was paramount to saving this parent's life. If they hadn't responded as quickly as they did, making a call for help, and you have 15 people, 15 doctors coming out of the stands to help provide immediate care to this individual, they saved his life. I thanked Superintendent Jamie Perino, their athletic director Zach Kessler that night. I asked them if they could give me the name of the doctor that was there. She was amazing. She took charge of the scene. But watching not only the first responders who were there, but watching our parents who were first responders jump into that situation and help this parent out was unbelievable. It was heartwarming, and it was exactly what had to happen. If not, he'd have lost his life. So I just want to publicly say thank you to those folks that helped that night, and thank you to the Franklin Regional School District for being on the spot and spot on perfect in ensuring that one of our parents made it out of the stadium that night. You look at a tragedy like that and you think, what's the positive? The positive is probably that it happened there. If he's home watching it on TV and he's by himself, I don't know that he gets help. So you look for silver linings in every cloud, I guess. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Trumka. I will now open the floor for hearing of visitors part 2. This is where anyone in the audience can come forward with any concerns they have. Please state your name and address when you step up to the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit.
Ben Emmett, 43 East 2nd Avenue. Hello, I am a sophomore at Greater Latrobe High School. I am involved in many school activities, all involving music of some sort, including drama club and our school choir. I am also enrolled in classes such as rock ensemble and cabaret. I have come to speak with you today about the new schedule and the impact it is having on the student body, none of which we believe are positive. Last year, we had 25 to 30 minutes of homeroom to watch the announcements and check our emails and hack. Then we had 30 minutes of GL to catch up on work with teachers and go to any clubs we needed to. Then we had 30 minutes of lunch to sit with our entire grade, not limiting the people we could sit with. This new schedule only gives us 30 minutes of out-of-class time, and that is our lunch. We can only eat lunch in the cafeteria. Students used to enjoy eating lunch in the commons, outside, band rooms, or teachers' rooms to work on work. I know many cases where students have no friends to sit with at lunch because they've been separated from all their friends. And as much as we encourage students, if they see someone sitting alone, to invite them to sit with them, it's sad to say there's very rarely a case where that happens. And I know there are 2 flex days a month now that you are adding, but I'm sorry, that is not nearly enough time for students to get academic help or go to clubs that don't run after school. Clubs that look great on college resumes. Students coming to school early to meet with their teachers isn't always an option for students whose parents work, they can't drive, or they take the bus in the morning. I understand the reasons for you changing the schedule like this though, to keep our school out of trouble in the hallways and bathrooms and such. But the sad matter of fact is that if kids want to cause trouble, they will do so no matter what time they are given. And that's just a sad matter of fact of life. The junior high students, I believe, have more freedom than us and they are younger. That is incredibly sad to me as well. Before I finish, I would like to say it's not just me who feels this way. I've talked to multiple students who feel the same and have been poorly affected by the schedule. I hope I've done it justice by you all speaking today. I thank you all for your time today and would like to leave you with this statement. We are being treated less like the adults you want us to become and more like the children we once were. Thank you and good night. I'm currently a sophomore here at Greater Latrobe Senior High School, and as you're all aware, after Ben's speech, there's much dissent amongst the student body over the current schedule for the 2024-2025 school year. This schedule is misaligned with Greater Latrobe's mission to provide the best possible education for its students. We, as a student body, want to work with you to address the numerous issues in order for our school to be somewhere where we look forward to going. Our main concern is over the lack of remediation time during the school day. The only time in our day-to-day schedules is before and after class. Before and after the day. The problem is that not all students are able to arrive early enough or leave late enough to stay for that time. I experienced this firsthand last week after I missed 2 days of school due to illness. One of my teachers needed to meet with me to explain how I could make up a missed assignment. I asked her at the beginning of our class the next day, but she told me to meet with her before or after school, and I had to explain to her that I didn't have any time during my day or before or after because I take a bus. I assure you this is a larger issue for students that I've talked to. Another example of the effects of this is with making up tests. Most teachers are unable to meet during our study hall periods if we have them because they have other classes. This has caused one of my teachers to explain that make-up testing is to take place during his class, which leads to the students to miss even more class instruction. It's a compounding effect that leads to more stress and work for your students. I'm aware that there are flex block days built into our schedule twice a month in order to address this. But they will not be sufficient for the numerous clubs and organizations that your students are a part of, as we can only attend 1 per flex day. If we need to make up work, that number goes to 0. This is a real concern as our clubs are places for students to learn social, civic, philanthropic, and leadership skills. I've had conversations with a few of my current and former teachers on this topic, and the main point I've heard for this schedule is that it adds structure. However, the list of issues is much larger. One teacher I talked to mentioned that she feels rushed and has to assign much more homework than in previous years. As a student, I do not know all of the conversations that went into implementing the schedule, but simply put, some things work better on paper than in practice. Tonight, I wanted to emphasize the student body's main concerns with the schedule, as I think it is very important for you, as our administrators, to hear direct, first-hand accounts of our experiences so far. I believe that this is a solvable problem through amending the schedule to make it more similar to last year's while mitigating the issues it had. I encourage you to discuss the issues brought forward tonight and talk to your students. You can send me an email, as we want to work with you. Dr. Benning often talks about being a generational leader, and your students embody that. We want to work with you to make Greater Latrobe the best place it can be for our education. Thank you again for your time, and have a good evening.
Good evening. My name is Chris Sheets, 378 Lemon Road. My wife Donna and I have 2 students within the Greater Latrobe School District, a daughter in 10th grade and a son in 7th grade. When my daughter first transitioned from Mountain View Elementary School to the junior high, my wife and I cautioned our daughter that there was a high level of concern that the workload level would increase so much that our daughter would not have time for a social life nor extracurricular activity. However, these concerns turned out not to be the case because of the Wildcat time that was built into the daily school schedule. Last year was our daughter's first year in high school, and Dawn and I cautioned our daughter that her schedule would most likely, again, cause more homework than junior high did. However, again, we were wrong in our thinking. This was due to the Wildcat time, study halls, and lunch and learn times that were built into the schedule. As a freshman, our daughter was able to maintain a healthy social life outside of school and also work a job during the school year. When the end of the 23-24 school year came, our daughter made the decision to schedule more difficult classes such as AP Bio, Honors Chem, and Geometry. After our daughter had made that decision to take on a heavier workload in the 24-25 school year, she heard rumblings of elimination of Wildcat time, study halls, and lunch and learn. We as parents who have faith in our school district encouraged our daughter to trust in the system that the GLSD had put in place because change is difficult, but oftentimes is better. Our daughter spent time over the summer vacation doing work for her AP Bio course, and it caused her to stress that when the school year began, that she would not have time to dedicate to her studies and maintain a productive and healthy social life. As the short amount of time has passed in this school year, my wife and I have realized that our daughter's bringing home more workload has greatly increased, and we are very concerned that it will quickly add up to be too much for her to maintain a quality school life balance. In a world with such a high level of deserved emphasis on mental health, I believe that GLSD had the proper scheduling in place within the educational day to allow the students to get a high level of learning with a proper amount of homework, which permitted and encouraged healthy social networks to exist within friend groups, inside and outside of school. Under the new senior high schedule, students have already begun to encounter unnecessary adverse workloads that hinder their ability to maintain healthy relationships outside of the classroom due to increased workloads. My wife and I are growing more concerned that in the near future that this scheduling will spill over into the grade levels of 7th through 9th, causing our son the same stress to maintain quality grades while continuing to compete in wrestling, Boy Scouts, and maintain a healthy social life as well. If the scheduling is not working, why is it still being implemented in 7th through 9th grades? In a world that mental health issues and violence has become all too familiar, we as a school district should be striving to give our students the best opportunity to excel while providing a healthy school life balance that promotes good mental health. Our school district has some of the best teachers to give our students their best chance to thrive educationally. Now is the time for GLSD to focus on the mental health and well-being of our children to show them that mental health really matters.
I see no further speakers, so at this time, I move. Sorry.
I didn't know somebody else was. Anna Starrett, 716 St. Clair Street. I'm speaking on behalf of my daughter, who is a senior this year, and my son, who is a sophomore. My husband and I have 3 children, actually. One graduated in 2022. We're very lucky to have our children speak openly about their love for school. The first time I heard my daughter utter that she is second-guessing her love for school was last week. And I am emotional about this because I've seen how drastically this has impacted my daughter and my son. The consequences of changing things too fast and too furiously has extreme impacts on student mental health. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and have 25 years of working with adolescents. So I've seen the impacts of COVID, the impacts of out-of-home placements, the impacts of significant change on students and on young people. What I've seen happen in just these short few weeks of school: anxiety, panic attack. My daughter's never had a panic attack before. She came home early from school last week because she was so sick with not knowing how to get her work completed. She came home early. My son has ADHD. Sitting in class for 150 minutes is a very long time to expect attention and not give breaks. I also have concern for how this is impacting the teachers and the burnout rate that can happen along with them being demanded to lecture for a full 150 minutes. That's not something that's expected in college, and this is what we're preparing our kids for. You go to college, you don't have classes that are that long back to back to back. You have breaks. You have time to meet with your professors. If we are truly preparing our children to go to college, the schedule is not allowing for that kind of growth. Self-esteem, depression, anxiety. We saw this with COVID and the changes that we had to drastically make 4 years ago. With the changes that have happened this year, it felt like a very broad brush. As a parent, I did feel when my son was here before he graduated in 2022, that there was some looseness with the schedule. I did feel, why is he coming home early from school with these free sets? I didn't quite understand that because that's not the world I grew up in. Now to have the feeling of being locked in, I've heard students beyond my own children say, I feel like I'm in prison. Why all these drastic changes? Students that are high performing need time to meet with their teachers. My daughter is in what her teacher described as the most difficult class in the high school, AP Calc 1. She's hoping to get into Penn State. She is an honor student. This is not acceptable. And I have to just say it out loud, it is not acceptable. The changes have been so drastic. As the gentleman said before me, mental health matters. If we want well-rounded students that are going to be able to succeed in life, I know in my work environment, we talk about the work-life balance all the time. We need to teach that to our students. This is important. And I trust that you all that we strongly voted for last year will help to make those decisions. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Did you say your child has a 150-minute long class?
it was something like that. I'm a little nervous, so I may have misspoken there.
Okay.
If it's recorded, please correct me.
Okay, I didn't think we had anything beyond 90, but I didn't know if there was some double class or something that I wasn't aware of. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name is Pam Bacon, 555 Unity Street, Latrobe. I wasn't prepared to speak tonight. However, hearing some of the others speak, I just felt obligated to have to come up and say a few things. I have 6 children. One has already graduated in 2017. The other 5, I have 7th grade up through a senior right now. So I know Latrobe like the back of my hand. I know some faces here that like the back of my hand. I brag about Latrobe School District to all my friends who live outside of Latrobe School District. I love Latrobe School District. I tell everybody I would never go anywhere else. My kids would never go anywhere else besides Latrobe School District. However, this year, we haven't been here that long, and my kids are not very happy. It's a shame whenever I have a daughter who calls me, well, not calls me, texts me the first week of school. Mom, I don't know what to do. There's no one for me to sit with at lunch, and I can't go to the bathroom because they won't let me go to the bathroom because you have to sign out. And if you don't go to the bathroom, I don't need to go to the bathroom. I just need to get out of here because I don't know anybody in my lunch. And she's panicking. She's having a panic attack. I'm telling her, go to the nurse because I knew she was having a panic attack. She now, last week, was put on anxiety medicine because of her schedule at school. She's in 10th grade. Like, why is my 10th grader having to be put on Prozac because she's having anxiety attacks at school? She's never had that before. But now, because of scheduling changes and not being able to sit with her friends, literally, because she goes to tech, she has a different schedule than all her other friends. So when she walked into lunch, none of her friend group was in that lunch. She didn't have a lot of friends in tech, so she had to make some friends very quickly, or else she was going to be sitting at lunch by herself for the rest of the year. My other daughter, who is in 11th grade, she already has mental health issues. Like she was saying, mental health is a very, very big thing in life right now. Ever since COVID, everyone has mental health issues. I can't see how anyone can't after COVID. My kids struggle with a lot of things, changes. Like it's hard for them. I have a son my senior, he has ADHD. When you change things, it's like changing, it's not just like changing a picture from a wall to another wall for him. It's like changing his whole world when you change things. But I don't think that's looked at when plans are made, like this was made, like these schedules were made. These kind of things weren't considered, that not every kid is the same, and not everyone is going to adapt to things like a normal kid would. My son, who was also in 10th grade, was telling me today, like, Mom, we can't even eat outside. We can't even go outside to get fresh air. He used to eat outside every day last year because he just felt like that was something, just to get out of the schoolroom, the school building, and to be able to go outside and sit and get that fresh air. We just rejuvenated him enough to where he was able to go on the rest of the afternoon, and that's what made him able to get through the day. He can't do that now. It's just these little things that you took away from them that it's ripping them apart. I mean, my kids come home crying. My daughter has gone to her guidance
I'm very
counselor.
sorry to interrupt you. Can you go ahead and conclude your?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that this schedule is messing with mental health. It's messing with these kids' lives, and it's important that everyone sees that this is not, it's not working.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see no further comment, so I move for the adoption of resolution 75, adjournment. May I please? Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? This meeting is adjourned.